In this video, I'm gonna try to explain the reasons that stand behind the shortage of doctors, healthcare workers, and other medical staff in Germany. If you have watched my previous videos, then you probably know that I'm a Syrian doctor. I graduated from a medical school in Syria in 2020, and then I came to Germany in July 2022 with the purpose of working as a doctor here in Germany. I won't be able to spot a light on the visa application process because it's too long, but in general, the visa that we acquire as foreign doctors is called Visum zur Erkennung ausländischer Berufsqualifikation, which means visa in order to get the recognition of foreign profession qualifications. What the hell does that mean? Okay, let me explain. I got my medical degree from Syria. Germany doesn't recognize it, doesn't recognize my medical degree as valid to be practicing medicine with in Germany. So Germany gave me the visa to come to Germany, to gain the chance to get the recognition of my medical degree, which leads ultimately to get the permission to practice medicine and start working as planned in the first place. So as someone who got their medical degree from a medical school that's basically outside the European Union, my medical degree is not valid or recognized. That means I'm not allowed to practice medicine with it inside Germany. So I have to come to Germany and apply for some exams. And when I pass these exams, I get the recognition. That means my medical degree now equals a German medical degree and I get the permission to work. So this is a summary of what we foreign doctors have to go through in order to reach a point where we can start working as doctors in Germany. The visa application process is not easy, a lot of paperwork, but more importantly, you have to study German, you have to reach a specific level of German language. Of course, you have to get an official certificate of that level from an official German language institute like Goethe. But in Syria, we don't have Goethe because of the political situation. We have to go to other countries like Lebanon, Jordan, Egypt, or Turkey in order to take the Goethe exam. So yeah, I had been through a lot till I finally got the visa. It took me a year between paperwork, German learning, going to Jordan, to Lebanon, and finally I got it. As you can see in my previous videos, I was preparing for the first exam that foreign doctors have to take in order to complete the recognition process. And I passed. Now I have what we call in German die Berufserlaubnis, or the permission to work. And I'm gonna start working in a pediatric hospital in Nordrhein-Westfalen in a couple days. I still have one exam I have to pass, which is the most important one, which is called die Kenntnisseprüfung, or the medical skills exam. This is the most important one because once I pass it, I finally get the official recognition of my medical degree, which is called in German die Approbation. That means at that point, my medical degree equals a German medical degree. I'm gonna explain the differences between these two exams that we take as foreign doctors in Germany in order to complete the recognition process. But first, let us talk about something else, but quite related, which is why Germany is bringing foreign doctors in the first place. What is the exact problem? Germany is the #1 country in Europe that's bringing foreign doctors from other countries to cover what's called Ärztemangel, or the shortage of doctors. Ärztemangel, or doctors shortage, is one of the biggest problems that face the German healthcare system. According to a study that has been conducted by the Institute of Work Market and Career Research, Germany needs at this time more than 15,000 doctors in order to fill the gap. This number, however, is anticipated to be increasing each year. Experts predict that by the year 2030, 1 of each 5 beds in German hospitals will be removed due to lack of staff. So in 7 years, German hospitals will be forced to reduce the capacity to limit their medical services because there are no enough people to serve in the first place. So this will be reflected in a very bad way on the population. And I forgot to mention that there are now more than 6,000 Syrian doctors who are working in Germany, and I'm sure there are at least this number of Syrian doctors who are still in their recognition process. Syrian doctors occupy the first position as the largest group of foreign doctors who work in Germany, followed by Romanian doctors, then comes Greece as third. There are more than 59,000 foreign doctors who pose more than 10% of the total number of doctors in Germany. 59,000 foreign doctors, and still Germany needs more than 15,000 to make some balance in the system. Scary numbers that present a potential disaster unless the German government would take some serious measures to avoid the worst. And it did. The German government has put some plans throughout the last 15 years. One of their plans is to bring us foreign doctors. The second is to increase medical school seats so more graduates can join the market every year. Yet, these measures seem to be fragile as the gap continues to expand. So, why? This is the main question. What is the problem? Well, there are so many theories that stand behind. The first group of theories is something I think is well known everywhere. Not only Germany, but all advanced countries suffer from. The society is getting older, more people are getting sick, and require constant care throughout a long period of time. Less babies are being born in advanced countries compared to developed countries or the countries of the third world. So less young blood is there to be recruited to compensate this unbalanced age average of the society, and less young people are there to get into medical school and to become doctors. Again, most of advanced countries, mostly in the West, but also we have some countries of the East, such as Japan, are at the place where they have to face such a problem. The second group of theories is also something that is universally common, which is presented by medicine itself. Medicine is a very stressful field. The numbers of doctors who are dropping, leaving the field, are increasing every year, especially after the pandemic. Less students are willing to study medicine. Medical school itself requires the student to dedicate most of their time on studying. Less free time, less social life, less possibility to practice hobbies. Residency is even worse than medical school. Some doctors, even after they became attendings, they still don't have time to socialize or for hobbies. Less young people intend to have such a lifestyle and prefer to pursue another career where they can have more time for other corners of life. You see this everywhere. The phenomenon of dropping is becoming more and more common, especially among young doctors who are still in their 20s or 30s. They plan to drop at some point as working conditions of the medical field become harder and harder. We come now to the third group of theories, which has more to do with Germany. The first thing that's worth mentioning is high taxes. Because of high taxes, people of all professions are leaving the country to pursue work somewhere else, and doctors are not an exception. If you're not married and you don't have kids, about half of your salary is going to taxes. At some point, a lot of German doctors are moving to work in Switzerland and Austria due to the language unity, but also the US and Canada are attractive destinations for German doctors. Now, if we take a look at some numbers, we'll see that the problem does not revolve about the number of doctors in Germany. According to the Federal Chamber of Doctors, there are more than 400,000 doctors who are working in Germany. 400,000 is actually a high number. That means there is one doctor for each 200 people, and this is more than enough in terms of offering high quality medical services to the whole population. But again, this number does not reflect reality. We've seen before that the German population is getting older, where people are requiring long-term medical care. Not only the whole population is getting older, but also the average age of the individual has increased through the last decades, followed by the scientific progress in the field of medicine, biology, and genetics. People nowadays tend to live longer, get sick more, and demand constant medical care, which adds a heavier load on the shoulders of doctors. Again, the German population is getting older. Doctors pose a part of this population. According to the Federal Chamber of Doctors, more than 13% of doctors in Germany belong to the age group of 60 to 65. More than 8% of doctors have already become older than 65. That means if we take this point of time, more than 20% of doctors in Germany are going to retire throughout the next 7 years. So the number of 400,000 does not precisely reflect reality. Another potential reason is distribution, the distribution of these doctors throughout all regions of Germany. So if you take big cities into consideration, like Berlin, Frankfurt, or Munich, you will barely notice a problem there. Actually, you will find a doctor jam in these cities. Of course, there would be some empty spots that are seeking to be filled, but it's nothing compared to rural areas or small towns or even big cities like Leipzig or Kiel. First of all, it's well known that this doctor's shortage, is more common in the eastern part of Germany more than the western part. So states like Sachsen, for example, are on the demand of doctors more than states like Rhineland-Pfalz. Why? Life quality might be better in the west, so doctors tend to like it more here than the east. Foreign doctors might like it here in the west more than the east, as the majority of foreign community in Germany is centered here in the West. Why? That could be a good topic for another video. So this chaotic distribution between the East, the West, big cities, small towns, rural areas gives us a better understanding of the reality that the numbers do not actually reflect. Hospitals in small towns are generally understaffed. There are some hospitals that would have been closed if it's not for foreign doctors. A further issue that is worth mentioning is documentation. Germany loves paperwork, and it's well known all around the world for its bureaucracy and obsession with paper. Besides their duties of providing medical care, doctors in Germany have to take care of piles of paper as a part of their job. So instead of calling on the next patient and providing my medical services, I would be sitting on a desk stuck inside some paper, caring about discharge papers and transfer papers and insurance. This is one of the most important duties that are carried on the shoulders of resident doctors, which is documentation, or what we call in German Arztbrief, where every procedure has been taken on the patient throughout their stay in the hospital should be written carefully. Now, documentation is a part of our job everywhere. Wherever you go, it's quite the same. But in Germany, it's a bit more extreme, and this is preventing doctors from doing their real job, which is providing medical care. So again, in the language of numbers, there are enough doctors. But when it comes to actual medical care, you see the real gap, as doctors are trapped in paperwork instead of dealing with their patients. The last issue that people usually don't mention, or they even try to avoid, which is greed. Greed for money. Some companies that stand behind hospitals and clinics want to make money at the expense of anything that might cross their minds, even when it comes to hire less doctors to save their salaries. So we need 2 doctors at a certain place. Let's only hire one, push this doctor to overwork and burn out, and let's save the other salary. So again, it looks like there is a shortage of doctors at some hospitals, but the truth is this is actually the hospital's policy to hire the least number of staff they could possibly need and to save salaries. This is sad and disgusting, but it's real. Greed for money is real, and pushing doctors to overwork and to strain themselves in order to make more money is real. So which one of these issues is the main source of trouble when it comes to this shortage of doctors that has been facing the country for more than a decade now? Well, I think it's rather a combination of all these issues altogether. They're all true, and they all present themselves as a part of the main problem. Okay, so we are facing a problem. What is the solution? Well, obviously, the German government has been taking some measures to prevent the healthcare system from a potential collapse. One of their measures is to raise the number of seats in medical schools throughout all Germany. Now we have more than 3,000 seats in the schools of medicine in Germany. Another solution is to bring foreign doctors. Let's bring doctors from abroad. Instead of spending money on a medical student to make them a doctor, let's bring a doctor who's ready to practice medicine. As I said before, there are more than 59,000 foreign doctors who are working in Germany now. 32,000 of them are doctors from non-European countries. There is a very hard and long process these doctors have to go through before they can integrate into the system. What is this process? I'm leaving this for the next video. Thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time.